Rest up, Illini fans. We got a big weekend of sports ahead.
You are Locked On Illini, your daily podcast on the Illinois Fighting Illini. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome all to another edition of Locked On Illini. Thank you all so much for making us your first listen each and every day. And thank you all so much for making the Locked On Podcast Network the number one sports podcast network in the world. Thank you all so much for the support you continue showing for this channel. My name is Sonny Verma, your host here at Locked On Illini, where I continue to provide you coverage each and every day. Everything you see, everything you hear is absolutely free. The only thing I ask for in return is, if you don't mind, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We got a fun one for you today, folks. We're going to be talking both the Illini basketball and football teams are going to be playing this weekend. They're going to be playing on Friday night. Illinois basketball is going to be playing Colgate, and then on Saturday, Illinois at 2:30 is going to be playing Maryland, the Terrapins. So I figured I'd give a little scouting report on both, what I want to see in both games. And of course, not that I'd have to remind you, you can find me immediately after each of those games right here on Locked On Illini, as I do live post games for both men's basketball and football. All right, so let's start off. Let's talk basketball. Let's talk Colgate. Illinois faces the Raiders on Friday night. And while this isn't the same veteran-heavy Colgate team we've gotten used to over the past few years, you still have to treat this program with respect. Under head coach Matt Langle, now in his 14th season, Colgate has become Patriot League royalty. They know who they are. They know how they play, and they always show up fundamentally sharp. But this particular Colgate team, this is a transition year. New faces, new roles, and a whole lot of youth. Only two seniors on this entire roster. Guards Brady Cummins and Kyle Carlesimo. And they both set the tone in the backcourt. Carlesimo has been red hot early, going 4 of 4 from 3 in consecutive games and scoring 16 points in back-to-back outings. He is their steady hand. But the breakout star so far has been Jalen Cox, the junior guard who has stepped into a featured role. He just dropped 26 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals against Drexel. A true do-everything performance. Everything Colgate runs offensively flows through Jalen. Up front, it's very much a committee approach. They lost big man Jeff Woodward from last year and don't have a traditional interior anchor anymore. Instead, they've got Andrew Alexinyanko, a newcomer who's shown scoring punch. He's been in double figures twice, including 18 points against Drexel. Also, freshman Ayomi Adetoyimbo. All right, that's another quarter for the mispronounced names. Well, he flashed rim protection with a 4-block game, but he looks to be really raw. This is the whole roster is raw. This is a very young roster. 10 freshmen and sophomores, what I counted last. And you can see both the promise and the inexperience on film. This is a classic Colgate team in terms of identity, disciplined offense, excellent ball movement, high-level shot selection, a ton of three-point attempts. When they're in rhythm, they're dangerous. In the Drexel win, they shot 63% from the field and 61% from 3. When Colgate gets hot, they can put points on the board in a hurry. They dropped 49 points in the first half against Drexel. Defensively, the effort is there, and the young bigs have shown some moments of activity, but the consistency isn't. Against Drexel, they let a 20-point lead shrink fast. Against Michigan State and Northeastern, defensive lapses and rebounding issues cost them late. This is a team that can score in bunches and then give it right back. They've only played 3 games so far, but every one of them has told the same story. Played well, but lost at Michigan State 80-69. Played well, but let Northeastern slip away 68-65. And finally put it together in a shootout win versus Drexel 90-83. The ceiling is there. The floor is low. They're still figuring out who they are. So what does that mean for Illinois? Colgate's going to try to spread the floor. They're going to try to reverse the ball, hunt threes. play through Cox, Carlissimo, and Sam Wright, who is their leading scorer. I don't think I've even mentioned him. And they're going to try to drag you into a rhythm game. But Illinois does have some real advantages. If the Illini attacked the paint and controlled the glass, which is a staple of Brad Underwood and this year's team, Colgate's young front court will struggle to hold up. The Raiders' biggest strength, which is their shooting, is also streaky. If Illinois can run them off the line and make their guards finish through traffic, the Raiders don't have a plan B. This is a disciplined team with gold culture, good coaching, and veterans in the backcourt. But they're still searching defensively, still figuring out rotations, and still adapting to life without their former stars. Colgate can hang around if they shoot well, but if Illinois imposes its physicality and tempo early, this should be a matchup the Illini manage comfortably. What do I want to see from the Illini Friday night? Now, let's be honest, this game shouldn't be close. After that hard-fought battle against Texas Tech, hopefully Illinois will be able to take it easy, but still need to execute against Colgate. Now, Colgate obviously is a program that new defensive coordinator, assistant coach Cameron Crocker is very familiar with, and so maybe there might be some extra emotion behind that. But for the most part, I want to see the young guys perform. Keaton Wagler and David Mirkovic, while having sound games against Texas Tech, both probably had their two worst games of the season. Those young players, those are the guys that I kind of want to see maybe step it up a notch against Colgate. And you know what? Let's maybe get 15-plus points each on both of their sides again, just because against Colgate, you don't need to want to have to count on a Kylan Boswell. You don't need to want to count on your veterans on this team. Let them rest up a little bit. Let's get a very early, big lead in this game. And then at the end of the game, let's give minutes to the guys at the end of the bench and let the rotation rest up for the big matchup that you're going to have against Alabama next week. Now, I'll be clear, this team only lost by 21 to Michigan State. So, I mean, they can keep it close. And anytime a team shoots a lot of threes, well, they can beat anybody in the country. So it's not something to take lightly. And so that's why I ask, let's go take care of business immediately, right off the bat. Let's see what kind of minutes Mihailo Petrovic plays, at least as of this recording. Brad Underwood hasn't stated whether he's going to play or not. But this is a game where, again, it's kind of a tune-up. We had a hard-fought battle against Texas Tech. We get that big looming matchup against Alabama next week. Let's stay healthy, and let's just get the job done early, and let's get the game over early so that maybe we can get the younger players some runtime on the court. Give me your score predictions in the comment section. It's almost the weekend. Time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down. For the Illini, it's hard not to go with Andrej Stojakovic. The way he delivered in a big way, both on the offense and on defense. Hopefully, it's just a glimpse of his impact from this season on for the Illini. And just like Andrej Stojakovic delivered for the Illini, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash Streaks. You save every Saturday you order, stack it up all season, and you can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period through 11/18. And welcome back, not just to the viewing audience here, but also the Illinois football team. We're back in the chair. We're back in the booth, back under those bright orange lights because Illinois football is 6-3, coming off their last bye week and heading into another huge opportunity this Saturday. And listen, I know college football playoff dreams took a gut punch in Seattle. I was right there with you, but with Bret Bielema, he's been saying it all year long. Every week, you simply need to go 1-0. And now we're 6-3. Bowl positioning at stake, momentum at stake, recruiting heat at stake. And the next team standing in Illinois' path, a Maryland program that is talented, unpredictable, frustrating, and currently on a 5-game losing streak. This matchup is a little deceiving. A lot of people are chalking this up as a walkover. I believe Illinois is a 14.5-point favorite. Don't do that. Don't let the record fool you, because Maryland is the kind of team that can look average for 3 quarters and then drop 17 points in a 4-minute span. They've got weapons everywhere. They just don't know how to use them consistently. So today, what we're going to do is give you a real, detailed, personality-driven breakdown of Illinois versus Maryland, who they are, what they do well, what they struggle with, and exactly how Illinois can take care of business on Saturday. Let's get into it. Maryland comes in at 4-5 overall, 1-5 in the Big Ten. They've lost 5 straight. And this is the wild part. They started 4-0. I guess if you've been following the Big Ten for a while, that's not wild, right? That just seems to be a Mike Locksley trait. They legitimately looked like a problem early on in the season. They had a balanced offense, physical defense, smooth play calling. Then conference play hit. And suddenly, everything fell apart. Coach Mike Locksley is still a very good offensive mind. He's built the most stable version of Maryland football in decades. He went and won 3 straight bowl games, the first time in school history. But this year, they're trying to rebuild the plane mid-flight with a ton of freshmen and sophomore playing huge snaps. And the biggest storyline, everything centers around true freshman quarterback Malik Washington. Let's start with the good, because offensively, Maryland is not the problem. Malik Washington, this kid is fascinating. He's not polished, he's not consistent, but he's dangerous. Over 2,000 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions through 6 games this season. Over 260 rushing yards, and he leads the team in rushing touchdowns. He's a legit dual threat, and he's athletic enough to escape even when the blocking collapses, which for Maryland, that happens a lot. If Illinois leaves lanes open, he's going to take them. Rutgers found out. Indiana found out. Even Oregon had moments where he shook loose. Then we talked to the running back duo, DeJuan Williams, explosive, slippery, good vision, and Nolan Ray, efficient, reliable, balanced. Illinois allows 127 yards per game on the ground. So stopping Maryland means tackling in space and winning on the edges. Then we switch over to the receivers, and this is where Maryland scares you. Shalik Knotts has 434 yards and 5 touchdowns, and you've got Octavian Smith Jr. and Jaleel Farouk, all stand over 6 feet tall, all can win contested catches. When these guys go up for a 50-50 ball, most of the time they turn it into 70-30. The bottom line on their offense is if Illinois plays soft coverage, the game may stay close. If Illinois pressures Maryland early, the game can get ugly and fast, but not for us. You want to know why Maryland is 1-5 in Big Ten play? The defense, specifically the back 7, collapsed. But here's the twist. The Maryland secondary is actually elite at creating turnovers. 17 interceptions total, nearly 2 per game, 4 pick sixes, and 3 defensive backs with 3 interceptions each. If you're Luke Altmaier, you simply cannot throw late outside the numbers. This is a defense that will bait you into making mistakes. And the pass rush is pretty decent too. Zahir Mathis, 4.5 sacks. Sidney Stewart, 6 sacks, 8.5 TFLs. Maryland has 24 sacks and 51 TFLs, which dwarfs Illinois' numbers this season. The issue isn't the talent, it's discipline. They give up explosive plays like a piñata with the zipper. 55 points allowed to Indiana, 35 to Rutgers, huge breakdowns on third down, no ability to withstand long drives. This is a defense that either makes a highlight or gives up a touchdown. And there's really no in between. Let's talk about Illinois a little bit, because this game is all about Illinois just simply taking care of business. Luke Altmaier has been sensational, 19 for 31, 235 yards against Rutgers, 4 passing touchdowns, 88 rushing yards, 5 total touchdowns. Hudson Clement had his breakout game against the Rutgers, and hopefully he's able to continue that positive momentum throughout the rest of the season. The offensive line had maybe their best performance of the year. Maryland gives up 130 plus rushing yards and gets gashed in the flats. This is a huge opportunity for Caden Fagan, Khalil Valentine, Aiden Lawfrey, and Luke Altmaier and his scrambling. Maryland's defensive backs make plays, but their linebackers and safeties, they get lost. We need Gabe Yakus to continue his tear from the Rutgers game, where he had 2 sacks and 2.5 TFLs, but Illinois only had 3 total TFLs from everyone else. This is a game where Aaron Henry has to continue to show growth. No more 1 week teases. No more, well, it was Rutgers. Maryland has athletes. Maryland can score. Maryland will test your eye discipline. If we give up points to Maryland, well, then this could be a problem. The key for me is just play your game. You are a better team than Maryland, but I've said this often on the show. You're not so much better talent-wise than most of the teams that you're playing against on Saturdays. And so you have to execute. That has to be your bread and butter. If you're a Bret Bielema coach football team, you're not going to have more 4 or 5 stars than the opponent ahead of you. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to make mistakes. You're not going to miss tackles. Those are going to be keys for this game. I'm very curious to see. I think Illinois probably wins comfortably. Aaron Henry right now, again, the spotlight continues to be on him. After the debacle against the Washington Huskies, there's a lot of people calling for him to be fired, to be let go. And while I don't think there's a chance that that type of move would happen during the season, Aaron Henry understands that over the last 4 and now 3 weeks of the season, well, everyone is watching. Everyone is taking a look at that defense, because if it doesn't step up, now granted, it did against Rutgers. It did its job against the Scarlet Knights, but it's the Scarlet Knights. You need to continue it against Maryland. You need to continue it against Wisconsin. You need to continue it against Northwestern if he wants to salvage his job and come back to Champaign next year. Right now, there's a lot of momentum of that not happening. So that's kind of what I wanted to take a good look at. As I mentioned, this Maryland team can score. They've got some really good players and they've got some really good athletes. And so a good defensive performance is going to earn some points with me personally on whether I'd want Aaron Henry back or not. Otherwise, other things I'm keeping an eye on is if this game does get comfortable, well, how long do they keep Luke Altmaier in? There's a part of me that wonders that now that the college football playoff dream is gone, well, what other things are there to play for? And one thing that I've had in mind is Luke Altmaier and possibly him breaking some Illinois records as a quarterback. Those are still in the line of sight and something he might be able to achieve. And so I do wonder if they try to, even with the game in hand, try to have Luke fluff up his numbers a little bit and just to see if those numbers ultimately look better in the box score. My final score prediction, Illinois 41, Maryland 13. I think Aaron Henry continues to show improvement calling plays on the defensive side, and we take that momentum next week to Madison in a very tough matchup against a Wisconsin team that might be waking up. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to any fourth quarter comeback. Plus, you can even combine your live plays into a same game parlay for a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, no matter if your team's winning or they're losing. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. And welcome back. I did want to officially welcome the newest Illini, Landon Davis. I believe on Wednesday, officially signed his letter of intent, or at least his scholarship papers, whatever it takes to officially be announced as an Illini. The team itself made a post announcing him as an Illini. Now, again, when you look at his numbers, you don't exactly jump up for joy in getting a prospect like this. Landon Davis was the 228th overall prospect when it comes to composite rankings. Illinois was the lone high major offer for Landon, but quite honestly, this is just one of those where at least my mindset moving forward is I trust Brad. I trust Brad, Orlando, and all those guys' talent evaluations. Clearly, I don't think this is a guy who's going to be playing much in 2026, 2027, probably not his sophomore year either. But maybe this is just one of those long-term development pieces. Obviously, there's something in Landon's game that they do like. And so, I just want to say welcome to Landon, to the Illini family. This was what Brad Underwood had to say about him. Landon is a physical player with tremendous athleticism and mobility who can play both inside and out. He brings great positional versatility in the front court. Landon has been well coached, is an elite passer and processor, and overall is just a terrific young man with a bright future as he continues to develop. Again, welcome, Landon. If you want to know more information on Landon, I did a previous video earlier about scouting report when he committed, so definitely make sure you check that out. I also wanted to give a shout out to the Illini women's soccer team. Katie Holton has got them in the playoffs, and they're going to be playing against Memphis on Saturday at 7 p.m. Central. So I wanted to wish nothing but good luck to the women's Illini soccer. And that'll just about wrap it up for today. Friendly reminder, Illinois is going to be playing Colgate tonight. I believe it's 8 p.m. Central on Big Ten Plus. I'll have the live postgame immediately after the game. If you didn't fork over the money for Big Ten Plus, no need. It's okay. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you've got the notification bell on. And join me right after the game, and I'll let you know exactly what I saw. Thank you for making Locked On Illini your first listen today. For your second listen, check out Locked On Big Ten. Craig Shimon breaks down the most exciting conference in college sports, from the rivalries to the championship and every game in between. Find Locked On Big Ten on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Make sure you're in the Talk Illini Discord. The link should be in the description. Again, there's no better place to be on game day. If you're not at Champaign, if you're not in the stadium when the game is happening, come converse with 300 plus of your fellow Illini fans as we go crazy together, we enjoy together, and we yell at each other all during the game. The link, again, should be in the description. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Until next time, ILL. Love you guys.